Black marble floors, footsteps echo through the villa. Velvet on the drapes, chrome handles on the Skrilla. Ghost in the driveway, tent darker than a secret. The grill splash once, whole room going speechless. Nights been sleepless, they're throwing shit together like a genius. The blade was steady cutting up the block to feed the demons. Got many reasons why I feed the fiendish every season. Treat the cake like a salt shaker, leave the street season. I'm a cut product, no additives in the mixture. A brick of pure troops sitting heavy in the picture. Most of these cats airbrushed, painted for the camera. I'm rust on the steel, scars baked into the character. Fur collar hanging off the shoulder like a king cake. Old money habits, new money in the briefcase. Cigar smoke curling through the chandelier crystals. Every move has been deliberate, never accidental. Realest fingerprints left behind on the evidence. Realest cracked knuckles earned through fades and experience. Raw like the ocean when the hurricane's spinning. No filters on the water, just survival and ambition. It's the real raw nut cut special. Change the channel if you can't fuck with my level. I keep the block hot enough to twist every mental. The shit I spit is cold enough to scare off the devil. They said don't be a menace, but I'm not in South Central. The boys from my hood moving on presidential. The all black master match the gad and the Hellcat. Keep a fat stack for when my shorty go mental.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Real Raw Uncut podcast. I'm your host, Rels. Before I get started with my special guest, let's make sure everybody go like and subscribe to YouTube channel 2920 Network. It's also on IG 2920 Network, as well as Twitch as well, 2920 Network. Trying to keep it all together. Oh, TikTok too. I just started a TikTok page, so that's 2920 Network too as well. So make sure you guys go like, subscribe, and follow. I post clips daily, so everybody go follow. But now my special guest is a survivor. She has a foundation called What's Behind the Bra, and she also hosts her own podcast called What's Behind the Bra. What is it again? What's Behind the Bra?
Healing Stories.
Healing Stories. Welcome, my guest, Monique Bass. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being my guest. Yeah, we've been trying to connect for a couple of days. We finally was able to get it done, so we are about to have some fun and get it started. So
yeah, let's go.
So let's start from the beginning. Before everything changed for you, who was Monique Bass?
Monique Bass was living her best life, traveling, going to different countries. Just living life, enjoying life. I'm a mom. I have 35-year-old twin sons, and I have 4 grandchildren that I love to death, and I spend a lot of time with my grandchildren. So working, hustling. I always had 3 jobs. You know, I was working at Madison Square Garden. I was working as a manager to a nightclub, 43rd Street Cafe. It's not there any longer. And I'm also a paraprofessional, which is a teacher's assistant for the autistic babies in Bergenfield, New Jersey.
So pretty busy life.
Yes.
So let's get started, because I want to hear the change of life and how did you adjust. So what was it like when you first, when did you realize something was wrong?
In 2018, I was just laying in bed and casually, just because, they always say to self-exam, which self-exam is very important, at least once a month. And so I was just self-examining my breast, and I felt something different. I felt a lump. And it's very hard because women can get lumps in their breasts around the time of that month. So I never knew, when they say self-exam, what that actual lump would look like or feel like. And it felt different. I was like, something is definitely wrong. I've never felt anything like that. It was really scary. And so once I felt the lump, I automatically made an appointment to go see, the breast specialist. And they took a mammogram, and they said that it was just a papilloma. It's just a papilloma. I have dense tissue, dense breasts, cysts, all of that. And let's just keep an eye on it every 6 months. That's what they wanted to do.
Oh, every 6 months. So was that the correct diagnosis? because sometimes I feel like when you go and you're like, and you know something's wrong with your body, sometimes I feel like doctors just want to brush you off. Like sometimes they just don't. I don't want to say that they don't care, but they may just be like, "Oh, it's all in your head." So, like, was that the correct diagnosis, or did you feel like it was more than that, and you went to like seek a second opinion?
Well, I didn't seek a second opinion. I just started with the every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So the 6 months after that, it kind of grew a little bit, and I was like, well, let's do a they said let's do a biopsy. So they
Mm-hmm.
did a biopsy, and it became benign. So once you hear benign, you're like very happy. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, it's non-cancerous. I'm okay. They're saying it's a cyst, and I said, well, if it's a cyst, why can't you just like drain it? And they said, well, when you drain cysts, if the fluids kind of come back, so it's just best to leave it. So I was like, okay. So that biopsy in 2018 was benign. 2019 came. I had another mammogram and biopsy, and that was benign. They didn't see anything. Then we came to 2020, and I had asked her, like, does cancer hurt? And she was like, no, cancer doesn't hurt. So when we got to 2020 and the pandemic came, we couldn't go to the doctor, and the lump kept growing bigger,
Mm.
and it was hurting off and on. But I was like, man, when the world opens up and I could go to the doctor, remember that when COVID was here, nobody could go to the
Yep.
doctor. Like you had to have like a fever,
Mm.
practically really sick. So
Yep.
I said, once the world opens up, I'm going to go back to her and I'm going to tell her, take out the lump.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I'm not doing this every 6 months thing. Take it out. She was like, okay, but let's have another biopsy. So I was like, okay, fine. We could do another biopsy, but we're still going to take it out. So we did a third biopsy and it was benign,
Mm. So once
right?
again, now you're feeling like it's good news.
Right. Three biopsies, but I knew that that lump wasn't in my body all my life. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like I've never felt anything like that. And then it started to like make lines, like the veins were getting a little darker. I was like, nah, something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so they scheduled a lumpectomy where they just go in and they remove the lump. And I'll remember this day clear as day. I was in a car wash and the phone rang. I said, the doctor's name, and I picked up and I was like, hey, how you doing? She's like, yeah, I wanted to call and give you the results. She was like, there's good news and then there's bad news.
Mm.
She's like, the good news is that we went in there and we took mostly everything out. The bad news is that it was developing cancer on the back. So say this is a lump,
Mm-hmm.
right? When they go in with the needle, they might have just went and took a little bit of cells out to
Mm-hmm.
test, and it was actually developing cancer in the back.
Oh, so they didn't take that out
So maybe if the needle would have went
a little
further
further
back,
in. Mm-hmm.
then they would have detected it. But she was like, so just, come see me Monday and we'll talk about, where we're going to go from here. So I went to go see her and I'm sitting in the office and that's when she said, yeah, so it is breast cancer. And, the good news also is that it's early.
Mm-hmm.
It's stage 1. But you have to do chemotherapy. And that changes a
Mm-hmm.
person's life instantly. It's like, is she talking to me? Like, you start looking around like, am I really sitting here and she's telling me that I have cancer? Breast cancer? And I don't have breast cancer in my family. I didn't smoke cigarettes, what people normally
Mm-hmm.
think. And I was like, how? I was like, and I work 3 jobs. Where am I going to have time to do chemotherapy? I got bills to pay. Like, ain't nobody got time for cancer and chemo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
So
I'm like, I would lose my hair. Like, that
exactly.
was, they said your life changes in a blink of an eye.
Mm. So when you get hit, when you first hear the diagnosis, what is the first thing that goes through your head? And it's like after that, after you process it for that second, it's like, how do you then next have to, like, who was the first person you tell after you diagnosed?
Well, I was by myself and I broke down and cried. Like, oh my God, like, what am I gonna do? Like, you feel like, what road? Like, you're so used to navigating your life, your everyday life, and then something like this hits you. You're like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna work? How am I gonna pay bills? Like, so that was my worry. Like, I didn't. Most people think like I'm gonna die. That was far from my mind. I'm like, what do we have to do? Because we're gonna kick cancer's ass, and I need to get back to work. So I just like I call my family, my parents,
Mm-hmm.
and so they were the first person, and and they were pretty strong, but everybody was surprised because we don't have it in the family, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So they then take you for genetic testing. I didn't have any of the genes. I didn't have the BRCA1, BRCA2, any kind of RNA, nothing. And they said, but we're gonna do an oncotype test, and that's a test where they test the aggression of the mass.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it scored a 49, right? Which is, it's 1 to 100. So
Oh, so half. Yeah.
it's like halfway aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, so you have to do this chemo plan. I'm like, what? So it was like 4 chemos that I had to do, but 4 sessions, and it was 2 different types, the Red Devil and Toxel. And I was just like, what am I gonna do? Like, chemotherapy, I'm gonna lose my hair. We're in, so this was like September 2020, so we kind of was
Kind of.
almost
Yeah,
almost
you're like
out.
in it, but kind of not really in it like we was at the beginning of it.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. So my brother just said, Monique, do you mind if I do a GoFundMe for you so you can just worry about your health and not worry about bills? Because at that time, also during COVID, I had 3 jobs, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Madison Square Garden shut down.
Yep.
Where on earth or in your mind would you ever imagine Madison Square Garden shutting down? I
Mm-hmm.
remember looking at the TV like, games canceled, the garden is closed. I was like, wow. So that was one job. Then also I'm at the restaurant, the club.
That's
Restaurants
close
are,
to it. Yep.
restaurants are shutting down. The only thing that saved me was teaching, and we were able to go virtual.
Mm-hmm.
So the days, I didn't have to take off any days. It was kind of like a blessing in disguise, the
Yeah.
timing of it, because I didn't have to take off any days. I was able to, you know, log on from home, and that was a blessing, and still get that check. So my brother did a GoFundMe, and within like 2 weeks, I raised $20,000,
Mm. God
and
bless.
that, thank you, and that took me all the way through my chemo. It was like 9 months between the
Mm-hmm.
chemo and the radiation,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a best friend, and she's always been trying to get a hold of my bills because I really paid kind of late. And she's always so my brother designated her to be in charge of the money,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the first time in my life that every single one of my bills were paid on time, and even like ahead of time. I was like, wow, this is nice. So that was a blessing.
Mm. So we discussed who you were before the diagnosis. Who did you become after the diagnosis?
Well, the beauty of COVID was that it sat us down, right?
Yeah, sure did.
Um, so going from working 3 jobs to can't go anywhere, sitting down, I feel like that was kind of a blessing in disguise, because here I am, October, November 2020, having to sit all the way down, for chemo. So I felt like that was preparing me of how I'm going to get through this. And going through chemo and breast cancer during COVID was very hard because I couldn't have anyone go with me, you know?
That's right, because that's right. Yeah.
No, and
They
if you
were
look
real
at people,
strict about
yep,
bringing people with you in hospitals at that time.
Yep. If you look at people, they always have somebody by their side. And me going through chemo kills your cancer cells as well as your healthy cells.
Mm-hmm.
So my immune system was kind of like what's the word?
I would say compromised.
Compromise. That's the word.
Mm-hmm.
Compromise. And so if I went to my mom's and somebody's sick, I may not have
Oh.
been able to fight it off. Or
Mm-hmm.
if somebody comes to me, or if the grandkids came to visit, that was taking a chance. So we just was virtual. So thank God for virtual. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I was able to stay connected. I had a group of like five uh, friends, supporters, that we were in the chat that I was able to like really talk to and get my support from.
Mm. So with having to do chemo and not having anybody to really go with you because of the COVID, how did that take a toll on you mentally? Because we know what it does to you physically, but how did it take a toll on you mentally?
I was fine. Like I'm really strong because I don't even think I would have want people to come and sit with me. I'm always like, I got this. Don't worry about it. I
Mm-hmm.
feel bad for somebody having to sit with me and go through it. Like I'm very strong. Like I want to go through it alone. I'm gonna beat it. And mentally, I was fine, but I was very. There was my brother hooked me up with somebody to talk to that went through it,
Mm-hmm.
and I advise people that if you're going to talk to people and you're going to do your research about stuff, take everything with a grain of salt, because this woman kind of scared me. Like, she was like,
Oh.
and you're going to get depressed. I got so depressed. And I was like, oh my goodness. I didn't get depressed at all.
Mm.
So the side effects are different for everyone. Every
Mm-hmm.
cancer is different. Every chemo treatment is different. I learned that there were so many chemos. And every side effect is different. Just because one person gets something doesn't mean the other person. Like, that's not gonna necessarily happen to you. And I was just scared of. I hate being nausea and throwing up, and I was really scared that that was gonna happen to me. And as soon as I had my first chemo, I looked at the nurse and I said, "So when am I gonna get sick?" And she was
Mm.
like, "No, no, don't think that way. You gotta stay positive,
Mm-hmm.
and don't even think about it." And sure enough, I never got nauseous by the grace of God.
Mm. Thank God. Let's branch off for a quick second. Let's give some praise to your brother. Where for your brother to actually set up the GoFundMe for you and
Yes.
to help you out tremendously. How important was your brother through your whole process?
He was very important because he's like my big brother. And, I'm the little sister. So I felt extremely happy and blessed that he was there and thought about me, and because he knows I'm a hustler. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how can I help Monique? Because we have COVID. Like, I can't go over there physically. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so for him to actually sit down and think about me, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for him to think about me and touching, because if he's going to start a GoFundMe, people share it. And my brother's,
Mm-hmm.
he's in the music. Well, he was in the music industry when the music videos were being made and budgeted from the record labels.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a music video director, and so he's in that industry. Him and his wife are in that industry.
Mm-hmm.
So when they pushed it to their people, they're good people. So people love my brother and my sister-in-law. So if they see something like, oh, Lenny's sister, Mika's sister-in-law, she's going through cancer, she needs help. And I've been in the promotion game in the nightlife for like 20 years. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a huge following, and all those people just bless me. So I'm grateful to my brother and my sister-in-law for starting that GoFundMe for me.
Yeah. Shout outs to them too for helping you out through that time. Taking at least one stress away from you that you didn't really have to worry about.
Exactly, exactly.
So let's go a little further. So you're doing the chemo. Um, Obviously it's taking a toll on you, but you're not letting it take you down completely. Um, what does it feel like when chemo's over?
You feel lost. I mean, you're excited that it's finally done because I had 8 sessions, so I went from November 17th, like every 2 weeks, to my last session was like February 2021, and then they tell you you might have to do radiation. They didn't tell you. So the whole time, somebody's like, I hope I don't have to do radiation after, right?
Mm-hmm.
But of course, they're like, they look at other studies, they take your case. Hey, like, so a person that had what you had, this is the route they took. So they did this, the 2 chemos, and then they did 21 days of radiation. So you go every day for radiation for like 15 minutes. And for me, radiation was nothing. Then they just target the area,
Mm-hmm.
localize it, and that was fine. So you're excited, but then you're wondering, like, did it work? You know?
Yeah. So what was the feeling like when this was all said and done for you?
The feeling was, I was excited, but you feel lost because you're used to being checked on every day with the
Mm-hmm.
doctors and going to doctor's appointments, and everything is set up for you, and then you're done and it's like, okay, we'll see you in 6 months, or we'll see you in a year. So it's every 6 months now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in my 5-year remission right now,
Good, good, good. God bless.
and thank you. And I go every 6 months to go get checked.
Okay, good.
But life after cancer is something. Like, people think like your life goes back to normal,
Mm-hmm.
but it's actually a new normal.
Mm-hmm. Mm. What is the biggest lesson you learned from this whole situation?
The biggest lesson that I learned is to not take life for granted, and to live each day as it's your last. And it's funny because my family, like, right afterwards, I was always calling them, and I was like, listen, I'm just calling just to say I love you, like, because you never know if this is going to be our last conversation. So I did that for kind of like a year, calling people, and they would finish the sentence with me like, yes, we know, like, you don't know if you're going to die tomorrow, like. So I kind of like that was scary, like, the first year, because it's like, wow, something almost tried to take me out.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest lesson is that appreciate each day, you know what I mean, and don't take life for granted.
Mm. So from moving on from there, how did you start the foundation? What's behind the bra? Oh wait, before you answer that question,
Yeah.
can you please tell the viewers when they listen to this podcast, please explain to them how important it is for you to go get checkups, and for you to, if something's wrong with you, like, how important is it for them to go and, like, if they don't feel like something's right, how important is it for them to just go to the doctor without trying to just say, oh, it's not a big deal?
Brush it off.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So what's behind the bra
Mm-hmm.
is a conversation starter. So I wear it, people wear it, and when people see it, they smile because they're like, what's behind the bra? Like, so I even had like bartenders wearing it, and some fellas were like, I don't know, but I would like to find out what's behind the bra, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a conversation starter. People start smiling, and you're like, no, this is to make sure that you remind you to get your annual mammogram. Like, it's so important to get your annual mammogram because every year it could change. I started getting mammograms at 40, which I think they should do it way before 40, but that's
Mm-hmm.
being worked on. 40, so 40, 41, 42, 43, all the way up to 47, I was good. So you think in your head, like, I've been going every year, like, doing what I'm supposed to do, not knowing anything. And 47, that's when it happened. It's like, wow. So from one year to the next, it could just pop up. But in my brain, I'm thinking if I go every year, I'm good. Like, that's not going to happen to me. But It's so important because it changes from one year to the next. It could change within a month, 2 months, but we only go once a year. Make sure you self exam once a month. Make sure you listen to your body. Your body tells you something's wrong. People like to brush it off and say, like, that's just, I probably just bumped it. I probably, make excuses. And then when you don't pay attention to it, it could be stage 4. By the grace of God, I was the one that advocated and listened to my body. Like, this lump was not in my body all my life. Something is wrong. You go home with your body. Only you know how your body feels. And when something's wrong, your body tells you. So it's important to listen to your body and go get checked.
Absolutely, absolutely. What's behind the bra? And it's so you have one that's what's behind the pecs.
What's behind the pecs for male breast cancer?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of men do not realize that they can get breast cancer. So for women, it's 1 out of 8 women, and a woman is diagnosed like every 2 minutes around the world. So it's 1 out of 8 women. For men, it's rare, but it's like 1 out of 755 men. So I've developed another reason I have what's behind the bra. Like, all my friends and men that were supporting me, they would walk around with what's behind the bra. So I kind of like wanted to make them feel a little bit more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I got, what's behind the pecs, the pectoral muscles,
Mm-hmm.
to make them feel comfortable, but also to try to normalize the conversation, because men don't like to self-exam, and they think it's just like, oh, that's nothing, and they brush it off, because a man is a man, like that little lump, like I'm gonna be all right, like I can get through
Mm-hmm.
that, and not realizing that they can get breast cancer too because they have breast tissue, you know
Mm-hmm.
and so I started this thing, 100 men, 100 voices, to just have men, just say, like, hi, who they are, what's behind the pecs. Men get breast cancer too. Early detection saves lives. And just to normalize the conversation, because the men that are getting it, they're going to a women's center for
Mm-hmm.
their, for their for chemo treatments and everything. So you're walking into a pink building. So the ribbon is half pink and half blue, to welcome the men.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's so many people. Like, this guy said he went to the walks, the breast cancer walk, and usually they have a tent for survivors. And
Mm-hmm.
so he walked in there, and the woman was from American Cancer Society, and she was just like, no, no, this is for survivors. And he's like looking around like, well, I'm a survivor, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's about normalizing the conversation, that men, and being able to be comfortable talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, what is the process when it comes to starting your foundation? What was like? What made you just sit there and say, "Okay, I'm going to start a foundation"? And like, what was the process behind it?
That's a funny story. So I had that 5 group of supporters. There was like my brother, my sister-in-law, and my 3 childhood best friends. They
Mm-hmm.
were the ones that I talked to all the time. And I'm like the crazy little sister, the crazy little best friend. And I'm always posting pictures. And I posted this picture where I had like a breast cancer scarf.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like my bra and a vest. And I was like just posing. And my brother goes in the text. He was like, yo, get your girl. Get your
Yep.
girl, talking to my friends, like she's she's showing her boobs on Instagram or social media. And my one best friend, Stacy, she said, no, I love it. It's like a what's behind the bra campaign. I was like, what? I love that. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what I wanted to do with it. This was only a month into my chemo. This is during chemo. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but I hit the ground running. And I decided that what's behind the bra, the mission is to promote breast cancer awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And I fundraise, and the money that I raise, I send care packages to other women around the world that are battling breast cancer.
Dope.
because my friends, I was receiving, when I was going through it, I was receiving packages from my friends and my family and coworkers, and I was like, you know what? Some people may not be as fortunate. Some people are battling alone. Let me show some love in return. Like, so I would put in these bags comfort items like a blanket, so to put on while you're going through chemo, like slipper socks and a chemo cap. So when you lose your hair, your scalp becomes tender.
Mm-hmm.
So these chemo caps, you put it on and it just soothes your head and everything. So, stuff, chapsticks, just everything in there. Like some people's lips get dry, some moisturizing soap. So I put everything in this bag that could tea, ginger tea for the stomach,
Mm-hmm.
little drops. It's called Queasy drops. If you feel nauseous, you can suck on this candy. So it's just little things in the bag that bring comfort to other women while they're going through breast cancer.
That's dope. That's dope. It's like going what you went through and then being able to give back in
Yes,
such a
and
positive way that makes them feel a little bit more at ease about what they're going through.
yeah, and I launched it. I was still going. I was in the middle of chemo. I was in the middle. I was right in the half, and I launched it January 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm gonna have a launch party. Meanwhile, I'm going through cancer, going chemo, and January 31st, 2021, I'm gonna have a launch party. I'm getting back out there. I had all the DJs, DJ Mr. C, DJ Quad, DJ Mustafa. I had like lined up, like 9 DJs lined up. We'll come out all day, we'll raise money. The money I'll raise will help somebody else. So I'm, just thinking about somebody else. So I get there and I'm drinking. I took a mimosa. I was like, I haven't had a mimosa. I tried to feel like go back to a little bit normal than,
Mm-hmm.
sitting back, sitting down in the bed, because you're in the room, you're in the four walls. Like I was ready. Like I started ordering stuff, and I started to feel a little woozy,
Mm.
and I started to feel
Doing a little too
woozy.
much, too fast.
I was moving too fast, and people. I sat down, and people are talking to me, and I thought I was answering, but I wasn't answering.
Mm.
And my one friend Vivian, she's a breast cancer survivor. She came in and she was like, I'm calling an ambulance. And I'm just sitting there. And then I came to it and I was like, no, I think the ambulance came and they're like, oh no, they took my vitals and it was low. Everything was
Uh,
low, 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 low. She was like, you go. And I said to everybody there, y'all keep going. I'm going to tune in live and y'all just let me know how it goes. Keep this party going. And they kept it going. I was in the hospital, thank God, because everything dropped. Like my blood pressure
mm-hmm.
dropped. I don't know. I think I just was moving too fast.
Thank God your friend was there to be able to just be like, yeah, something's off. We're going to the hospital.
Yeah, shout out to Viv.
The good thing about um the good thing about you, going through the chemo at the time and then starting the foundation was that it was able to keep your mind off of any negativity that was going to happen with the chemo because you were
Right.
so focused on doing the foundation, setting up the party that you never really had time to actually sit there and allow yourself to get depressed or think about the bad things going on because you was trying to set yourself up for something positive and you was trying to set something up for people to be more aware about everything that's going on.
Exactly, exactly. And then, to set up a nonprofit, it's a lot of paperwork. So I was researching how do I set up a nonprofit, just handling all the the paperwork to make sure that it was legit. And
Hmm.
once cancer was finished, which was April 2021, I went full fledged. Like I was even going through cancer, mailing these packages out to other women while I was going through it.
Mm. Mm. So, how did you start healing stories?
So
Which, by the way,
everyone.
sorry to cut you off, which I think is a dope process because not only are you sharing your story right now with me, but you have your own platform where other women can share their stories as well. So, I think
Yes.
that's a real dope and cool process.
Thank you, thank you. I thank you for having me, to giving me this platform.
No problem.
It's just different because I'm so used to being the interviewer, and to be on the other side, which is great. And this is actually just probably my second where somebody asked me. So you're like the second person where somebody asked me to come on.
Appreciate
You
that.
know?
Appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. So, thank you. The question was,
How did you
Oh,
start
and how
hearing
did I
stories?
start it?
Hmm.
So I'm always saying, like, people always saying like, oh man, we only focus on breast cancer in October, you know. But the truth of the matter is, people get breast cancer every 2 minutes, you know, through the year. So cancer does not discriminate. It doesn't wait till October, you know. So I was like, I want to be able to, but talk about breast cancer and awareness all all year, not just in October. Like even when you fundraise, right? When I'm fundraising, I try to fundraise through the year, like
Hmm.
once or twice or three times. But people don't pay attention until it's like September,
Which is
leading into
crazy. You're right.
October. Then everybody's like, oh,
Hmm.
breast cancer, and helping. And I was like, how can I do it? So I said, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast and talk about it once a week, because I used to be like, who the hell really wants to talk about cancer every day? Like, but in all actuality, I started it in January, and I'm booked all the way until September. Like I was booked with guests like 2 or 3 months out. It's so many. It's like I don't even have to. People referring people to me.
Hmm.
I see people online. I just reach out to them, and and now I do men. I have men on it for what's behind the pecs, and I was like, people just gonna come on and tell their story every week, and I produce it, I edit it, I promote it, and it's been going. So my goal was, I'm gonna do it all of 2026. I'm gonna see, like how people say I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna go to the
Hmm.
gym, but they wind up, So it's like my
Hmm.
goal, like I'm gonna do it. And I've been doing it. Like I'm booked up until September. So October I want some heavy hitters. October I want really heavy hitters. So that's my focus now. And then we got November, December, and I can't wait to be like, I did it all
Hmm.
year.
Yeah, and you think about it, the year is going by super fast right now too.
Super
Like
fast.
like September's right around the corner, and next thing you know, it's October, and there's a lot of stuff going on in October, and
A
then by
lot.
the time you know it, it's holiday season.
Yep.
So that may be where it might be the hardest to book the guests around holiday season. But
Oh no, I got them lined up. I got so many people. That's not even a thought.
well, the beautiful part in being a podcaster, I'm gonna let a little inside secret, and I'm pretty sure you know this too, but I'm gonna let the viewers know a little inside secret. The more you book your guests and get the interviews done, you can kind of relax at the end of the year because you have enough content and footage that will last you for the rest of the year. So the
Yes.
more people who get interviewed, when the holiday season comes and you find yourself stressed out, you remember you already got it lined up.
Yep. Exactly. And I started it with people just keeping awareness all year, but I got so much more from it. Like
Hmm.
I've got connections to people, like to their souls. You know what I mean? Like I met some beautiful, wonderful people, and I've learned so much. When you hear everybody's different stories, it's just amazing the new things that I've learned, and I'm grateful for that. You know what I mean? You start off with one goal, but you come out with so much more.
Hmm. And the beautiful part about interviewing everybody is that everybody's story is different. So while the outsider may look at it like, okay, she has this person, or they might look at me and be like, okay, I interviewed a breast cancer survivor last week. Now I'm interviewing one this week. They might look at it, the outsider who doesn't really know podcasting or doesn't know stories might just be like, oh, it's the same story, not realizing the stories are completely different.
Completely different. Not
Yep.
one person has the same cancer story.
Nope. Nope. Not everybody has the same story, period. That's
Right.
the trick of podcasting and having guests.
Right.
Everybody, you can have three rappers on, and all three rappers have different stories.
Right. Because their life is different, the journey's different, there's a different
Hmm.
people.
Hmm. So,
Hmm.
what have you learned the most from podcasting? Because that I have to ask you, outside of interviewing breast cancer survivors and having your own show, what is the biggest thing you've learned as being a podcaster?
The biggest thing I've learned being a podcaster, um, I've learned. Hmm, you got me on that one.
Yeah, I know because it's not a question that's asked often. because
Right.
whether you want to admit it or not, you are a podcaster. So it's like when somebody asks you the question, you're just like, I don't know, because it's not a question you get asked often. It's not something you think about. So it's like, so now when I stump you on that question, now you have to answer the question, but you got to think about it.
Yes, yes. The funny thing is that I was never into podcasts, right? So I was like, I'm telling my friend like, oh, I'm just gonna do a podcast, and I'm doing like the YouTube, and she's like, that's not really podcasting. Like podcasting is more of audio. Like you have to hear it, the
Mm-hmm.
the podcast channels was more audio. And so I was like, I researched it, and I was like, okay, well, so I'm on a website that distributes it to all of the channels of Amazon Music,
I wonder if we're on the same one.
Apple.
Is it Red Circle?
No, I'm on RSS.com.
Oh, okay, yeah, I have Red
Uh,
Circle.
RSS.com, yeah. So it distributes to all. So I'm like, okay. But the thing is, so then I started getting a little bit like listening to some podcasts. It's still not my thing. I like more of the visual.
Mm-hmm.
I like the visual. And it also helped me, like, I wasn't that great, as a public speaker
Me
on the
neither.
video.
Me neither.
But you know that the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it, and the better you get at it.
Mm-hmm.
So also, just podcasting, like you start off, like I said, thinking you're doing one thing, you know what I mean, just to bring awareness, and you learn so much more, you learn from the people, you learn connections, and I love that. And I also love that, having all the people and then making the flyers and they all put it on their page all over the world, on Hawaii and different places. I interview with people, and what's behind the bra is spreading. People are more familiar with what's behind the bra.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
That's
happy
dope.
about that.
Oh, it's dope. So October coming up, Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
You, yeah, you have an event.
I have an event. I have a strength and survival sneaker ball fundraiser. It's down in Aroko Event Space in South Brunswick, New Jersey on October 11th from noon to 5, where we're going to like honor some survivors, thrivers, pay homage to some of the people that we lost to this horrible disease. We're going to have DJs, we have vendors, and we're going to dance and eat and just celebrate life. And right now, the tickets are $75 to until August 31st. I mean, I don't know when you're going to air this. It might be too late.
Might be too late. No, you know what?
August
No,
30th.
I'm gonna air this. This is gonna be the next episode that drops. So I'm gonna air
Okay,
this.
yeah, because you got to lead up to it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, it's not just in October. I know people just want to
Mm-hmm.
do October, but it's important. Breast cancer is important every day, even for men. You know what I mean? Getting that awareness so more people know about male breast cancer is so important. Self exam, and so the early bird tickets are $75 up until August 31st, and then after that they go up. But it's a fundraiser, so it helps my foundation continue to help other people.
Mm. Is it hard to maintain a nonprofit?
Very hard. Very hard. Like, I'm learning. I started with board of directors this year, and I thought it was to help me. Um, but it's like anything. Like, you have to. It's trial and error. The people that you put on the board, they have to be passionate about the cause. They have to. I'm learning a lot, because it's to have a board of directors. You're dealing with different personalities. You're navigating something you don't know, that's new. What people are supposed to be doing, what part they play. Nonprofits are like self what do you call it, like I put all my money into it. Like, if I raise money and that money goes, I have to use my money to keep that engine going. you
Mm-hmm.
know so it's very difficult. So this is my 5th year, and I'm, by the grace of God, I got my first grant. I fill out for grants from Screen, New Jersey, Rutgers University, They granted me $7,500.
Nice.
So that's a big one
Congratulations.
for me. It's my first like
Congratulations.
grant, and I'm happy for that because that helps me. It helps, keep my foundation going. The nonprofit is very hard,
Mm,
but it's so worth it.
that's what's up. That's what's up. And look, as long as it's which it drives you and it motivates you, then it's a work in progress. It's a plus all around.
Yes, yes, and to bring smiles and hope to somebody else that's going through it, that to be like, oh, somebody's thinking about me, and bring comfort to somebody while they're going through it, like that speaks volumes in itself.
Hmm. So you would figure so to you, this is probably this is the most rewarding to you is to be able to give back and
Yes,
be able to share not only your nonprofit but also your podcast as well to give people the opportunity to explain their stories.
yes,
See,
yes,
that's dope. That's dope.
yes.
That's dope. As a survivor, it is dope to be able to have your own platform where. And do you find it that people are more comfortable to talk to you about it because you're a survivor, or is it really make a difference? That doesn't matter.
No, no, it doesn't. But I mean, I guess some people feel like, hey, this person could kind of relate
Mm-hmm.
because she went through it. Um, I did not have a mastectomy. I just had the lumpectomy. So the mastectomy is when you remove your actual breasts,
Mm-hmm.
and I just had lumpectomy where I just took out the lump. And I say that those women that have mastectomies are the real MVPs because that is a mental, um, it's just, it breaks you down like mentally, to have breasts, something that you had all your life, and then have it removed, so it's hard. People do go through depression and stuff like that, but so big up to the women that have mastectomy and go through that. I salute them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, before we wind out here, and once again, I thank you for being my guest. I just have one question I want to ask before I close out. I ask everybody this one question.
Yes.
Um, so life before breast cancer, life during breast cancer, life changing you, slowing you down, you speeding yourself back up, but not being ready to really be sped back up yet. Starting your own nonprofit, starting your own podcast. What is one thing that you would tell your younger self now?
That I would tell my younger self. I would say stay a course. Continue to be positive and know that you can do anything you put your mind to. And you got this. You're going to be okay.
Mm, absolutely. Where would people be able to find you if they wanted to contact you?
They can find me everywhere. No, just kidding. They can find me on Facebook, Monique J. Bass, Monique Bass. They could find me, What's Behind the Bra on Facebook also. They
Mhm.
can find me on IG, What's Behind the Bra Foundation, and Monique J. Bass. They can find me on LinkedIn, Monique Bass, TikTok. I think it's Monique Bass on TikTok or Bass Entertainment. I'm not sure, but mostly I'm on Instagram.
Mhm. Yeah. All
Yes,
right. So, Monique, thank you for being my guest. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for sharing your story and having a platform where other women and other men can share their stories as well.
thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. I will definitely post your event. I will clip some stuff and I will send it to you.
Absolutely, I can't wait. And remember, early detection saves lives. Hey, accurate early detection. Know your body. If something doesn't feel right, go get it checked. Do not wait. Do not be scared. The longer you wait, the saying goes, make time for your wellness or be forced to deal with your illness.
Oh,
Got it?
I like that. I like that. Actually, it's crazy because you say that, and as cool as that sounds, it's really a factual statement too.
Yes, yes. People are moving and grooving everyday life. Oh, I can't, just putting their health to the side. You can't do that. You gotta take time for your health. Go get your physicals every year and keep going if you don't have the answer. If they tell you, oh, advocate for yourself. If they tell you, oh, you like the biopsies, you're benign, like you want to be happy, but you're going home with that body. And if it don't feel right, you keep going until you know what's wrong. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And once again, thank you for being my guest. I truly appreciate it.
Yes, yes. Thank you for having me.
All right, no problem. You take care.
All right, bye bye.